United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kelly, if you could take attendance, please.
Larry Fidler.
Here.
Greg Jay.
Here.
Brandon Tankat.
Here.
Bryce Howell.
Here.
Scott Stierwalt.
Here.
All right, we're going to start the new year off, as we always do, with election of officers. Is there any nominations for president for the calendar year of 2026?
I will nominate Brandon.
Any other nominations? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
I believe you have 48 hours to get got all your signs.
I didn't know that. Did someone put signs up? Nominations for vice president for the calendar year of 2026.
I'd like to nominate Bryce Howell.
Any other nominations? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thanks. You can come get yours. I'll come get my sign out of your yard.
Perfect.
All right, any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Kelly, you have anything?
I have two. The first thing is I have a correction at the top. This is 2026, not 2025. So if you could please correct the date. And then secondly, we need to add under Jason's section, so this would be 8B6, VFD is the title.
Okay, anything else, Kelly?
That's it, thank you.
Okay. I would like to remove items 10B as in Bravo, item 10C, item 10E. Just remove them from tonight's agenda, they'll reappear in the February meeting.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything? If not, can I get a motion for approval on the additions?
Motion.
Deletions. Thank you. Second? Who second that? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes from the December 9th, 2025 regular meeting. Is there a motion on that?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This will bring us to claims and transfers.
Okay, these are in two sections like we normally do. The first one is the December, we're closing out the end of the year for 2025. So from general, $129,046.27.
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From water, $106,158.97.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $93,439.85.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Payroll, $56,822.68.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now that brings us to January's numbers. For the general, $790,544.75.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
From water, $16,292.40.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $211,638.65.
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then the claims, Water Solutions Unlimited, invoice number 7291503, in the amount of $4,251.80.
Council questions?
It's chemicals, correct?
This is routine chemicals. We have approval up to $4,000, and every month it's been just slightly over.
Approval?
Okay,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Service pump and machine, invoice number 2379A, in the amount of $3,064.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bonifacius Electric LLC, in the amount of $7,799.60.
What was this?
Sorry, we recently rented the depot again. We had planned to make repairs to the depot for that.
Yeah.
We only had time to do electrical repairs, and it's completely rewired,
I knew
both
that.
interior and exterior, so we still need to do some repairs. The current tenant will probably be in there for another year and a half. It is a month lease, but this is for the electrical on that.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And flock safety invoice number 82926, in the amount of $3,000.
Motion. Second.
That is for the second camera.
Correct.
Yep, this is for the first one.
Oh,
You can look
no,
Is it the first one or the second?
it's, I believe that was for the second, and they waived the other fee.
Can I see that, please?
They waived the installation fee.
Yep. Because remember, I donated that when we had the installation fee.
And I don't believe they've invoiced us yet for that.
Okay, I thought there was a line in the middle of that invoice that said it was like for the second year.
It says year 2
Okay, so that would be the original.
24.
of 24 month. Is what I'm seeing.
That'd be the original one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is still fine, so
Yearly fee.
this is still for the,
Second year lease and the.
on the first, yeah. So, need a motion for approval on that invoice?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's all, thank you.
Adam?
I've got MOU for the second SRO that the school is looking to put in place. What I'm asking of the council tonight is to approve the MOU that Mr. Shapley has already reviewed. The school board has a copy of it. It was supposed to have been voted on last night, but we haven't heard nothing from them, so I'd like it to be voted on for us to approve, contingent on them signing an agreement with their original MOU.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I would just like to point out that due to budget changes and things like that, at the very earliest that this second SRO could be hired would be the second part of March, so at least March 16th would be the earliest.
Anything else?
Other than that, we've been doing some interviews, open interviews for that position, and it's went really well. Had over 100 applicants. So, we got a pretty big pool to choose one guy for one person from. That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay. Jason?
The first item is the Okra Water Grant. That will be going to open bid, and we will actually accept bids through February the 14th, is when we'll open that. That's on the Okra Water Project. So most of the work will be done at the water plant, but some of it is some line replacements and extensions through our current system. So we'll be opening the 14th of February. The next item is the Labor Wastewater Project. This is the project where we're purchasing the vac truck, Mr. Shagley emailed over a letter that IFA was requiring us to do. We sent that over to today, so I know IFA has received that. So I'm hoping any day now they're gonna get approval to finish with that purchase of that truck. As soon as that truck is purchased, we're gonna have about $95,000 to spend in this project. So, hopefully at the next meeting, I'll have a couple potential projects for you that I'd like to do, or pieces of equipment we might be able to acquire. I think, at this point, acquisition of equipment might be easier than actually going into a phase 4 of engineering and doing mining or something like that. So I think we're looking more at equipment right now. So hopefully I'll have something, as soon as the vac truck is approved from IFA, that's gonna happen, we'll have $95,000 to figure out how we're gonna spend that. The next item is the I-70 water extension. With your permission, Brandon, I can talk about 3 items with regards to water, if that's okay, in this
Please.
category. Last month, we discussed the possibility of finishing that section of the 10-inch line going north of I-70 right along 231, where there's about 1,000 feet. You asked me to get quotes and make some adjustments because we didn't know that we owned the pipe at that point, and then we found out we do own the pipe. Although when I go up there now, there's not enough pipe to actually finish the job, so we're trying to figure out where that is. But we should have enough pipe to finish the job. I do have a new quote. I got a quote from, well, we had the original 2 quotes, and then I've got another quote from UMAC. Still the original quote from Jammer would be the low. Now, there were some changes to what we had last time, but the quote this time would be $67,150. But I don't want to scare you from that, but I want to talk about these other 2 issues before we make any decisions on all those.
So, just for clarification, Council, Jason found out since our last meeting that we do, number 1, own the pipe.
Correct.
Now, to find out exactly how much pipe is there, I guess is the next determining factor, or where the rest of the pipe is at.
Correct. I know the pipe was up there, and I know that B&T took some of that pipe. So when I did speak to B&T, they acknowledged that there's enough pipe. It may not be sitting up there, but there's enough pipe to finish that job. So we should not be purchasing the pipe.
Okay,
There's about roughly 1,000 feet of pipe up there.
perfect, thank you.
But along with that, the other 2, these are 2 issues that have just come up here in the last few days. At the water plant, we have 3 pumps, 3 main pumps. 2 of them have VFDs on them, which is a variable speed. It's to prevent them from running full capacity at all times. 2 of those 3 have VFDs on them, the 3rd one does not. In this water project, we had proposed adding a VFD to that 3rd one, so all 3 would have VFDs. Now, the problem we've got right now is one of the 2 VFDs that we have just went down. Now, we may be fine for quite some time with the 1 pump with the VFD until the project happens, which could be 6 months from now, by the time construction all happens, 5-6 months down the road. Richard is concerned that if we have the 1 operating VFD goes down, we're going to probably have to have somebody at the water plant 24/7 to maintain that VFD. He got 2 quotes, those are in your packet, to replace the VFD. I did speak with our engineer today, yesterday, Dustin with HWC, and he said that we could probably make it till time, but there is that risk of that 3rd VFD coming down. Now, there was already plans in place to get us where we needed to be. Unfortunately, this stuff happens. Now, the pumps are working fine. It's just these are designed for energy efficiency and so that you're not running your pumps full bore.
Say the 3rd was to go out and we get to the point we have to have someone there 24/7, how quickly can we react and get at least 1 back working?
Well, I do know that the low bid we have on that they have one in stock. Now, I don't know if they're always gonna have one in stock, but they do actually have one in stock right now. You know, it makes me nervous, I will say that. The shame is, we knew our situation, we just didn't expect it to go out. Richard is probably more concerned than I am, because he's gonna have to be out there for 24 hours a day till we get it resolved.
Well, but just like that, one's not in stock somewhere, you can eat up a lot of money over time and having someone there
I mean, it could be
24/7.
6 months before one is
Yeah.
in stock, so.
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the low quote.
Was the amount, was like
Which
85?
one?
8295 from BL Anderson. The other quote's 11,520, quite a bit cheaper.
BL has done a lot more for us.
And you said they have one in stock.
That's what Richard said.
Kelly, you were gonna say something? No? I thought-
Financially, we're okay to do,
To do this, yes, to do the VFD, yes.
I'll second the motion to replace it using B.L. Anderson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
with that said, I do hope that when we do this water project, we'll get that third, well, we know that third one's gonna be done, but get everything back up to where it needs to be and feel comfortable. Richard will be very pleased to hear this. He's been nervous, and I don't know if you know Richard very well, but he gets nervous about things like this, but understand. The other thing I wanna throw on here, Brandon, is Stardust Road, and I briefly talked to Brandon about this, and then Kelly as well. You probably have seen that we've been digging at the southwest corner of the intersection of Stardust Road and 231, or Main Street. We have a water line under the road that, a 6-inch water line under that road that we feel very confident is leaking. It's been leaking for a couple of weeks. We kind of thought it was a stormwater issue. We've been up there multiple times. We've isolated a section by shutting 2 valves down. And fortunately, we could shut those valves down. We didn't shut any customers down. That's what's really nice about this. But we shut the valves down and the water stopped flowing. So we know it's not stormwater. And we had tested it too also for chlorine, and chlorine was showing. So we felt pretty confident it was drinking water. We have dug on the south side of, that's where the water is, south side of Stardust Road, all the way up to the pavement, and we do not have a leak. This line, going from the valve, goes directly towards Stardust Road, under Stardust Road, and it goes right through where the sensor coils are that are implanted into the road. As I told Brandon earlier, I have not spoken to NDOT about this. I don't know what the cost is. I suspect the cost is not cheap if we have to cut through there and replace those sensors. And we feel pretty confident we're very confident it's under Stardust, the leak is under Stardust Road. There's a 50% chance it's under those coils. So I have reached out to UMAC, they have a boring, they've done boring for us in the past. They're gonna be here tomorrow to give us a quote, what it would cost to take a brand new line under Stardust Road. The other thing is, this line does not go in a straight line from valve to valve like you would think. We would propose that we would put a new 10-inch line in from valve to valve, so it's a direct line. And it would be bored, it would also be offset from where these coils are that are in the sensors.
Run into this problem in the
Correct.
future.
The other reason I am looking at boring is I really hate to cut that road. You know what happens when you cut a road, it's gonna settle and we're gonna be fixing it for years to come. And that is a very highly traveled intersection, so I really hate the thought of cutting. We can, it might be cheaper. The second thing is the asphalt plants aren't gonna be open until spring. So even if we do cut it, we're putting rock back in there and we might put cold patch on it, but that's not gonna hold with as much traffic. So I think we're kind of in a predicament that we probably need to take action, and I think right now, again, I don't have a quote yet, and I'll have that tomorrow. Ronnie Black with UMAC is supposed to be here tomorrow morning. So I'm proposing that, and since we kind of know that before council meetings, the reason I'm bringing it up, if the council was willing to allow Brandon to make that decision on what we do after we we get some numbers tomorrow. I looked online and it looks like boring typically costs between $1 and $3 a foot. I think we've got 60 feet worth of boring to do. My guys are gonna tie in both ends, so we're gonna do the open cut from that point on. So we're trying to keep this as cheap as possible, but there's gonna be a boring expense. So I will have that tomorrow. If somebody has other suggestions, I'm open to it. We've hired a guy to come in and detect where he came in at midnight, he and Richard came in at one night, and they have a little sensor they can put on it and try to detect where the water was. It clearly wasn't in the areas that we can access, so we know it's accessed. So we feel very confident it's under the road. You know, Brad and Richard, they've done this enough that they feel pretty confident, and they convinced me that that's the case.
So you're asking for a motion?
Yeah, but the problem is I just don't know what the amount is. You know, I don't know if you want to throw them out, or if it's just you know, what's reasonable to get it done. I think Brandon can probably make that decision, but that's up to you.
I make a motion that we let Brandon make the decision to repair this line. And I also would like to state that it be bored.
I'll second that, especially with as busy as CBRC is gonna be coming up. You don't want that road tore up.
Why would you, don't jinx it.
I'm just saying.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I know their schedule.
Just,
So those are the three, I put those all together because those are three water projects that we're discussing at the moment. You know, the two number one priorities you've just voted on. The third is, you know, I think it's a priority, but it's substantially more. It just depends on how you want to proceed with that, and that's the final section. The I-70, the line north of I-70.
And where would those funds be coming from again?
Good question. I'm not sure. That's a pretty substantial amount, and I'm not sure that we have that right now. I'm hoping to prepare some financial stuff for you guys to wrap up 2025. I'm going to give you like some utilities. I want to go over like the state of the sewer utility and the state of the water utility, and that'll give you guys a better idea of where we stand and what we're looking at, and then it will help you know how much money you have and then best how you want to prioritize that.
You know, it's something I'd love to see completed. That's just a decision if you want to do it now.
We've got the money for that, don't we?
No, this quote, no. The
That's
Junior
what
quote,
I was asking her about, the 67, 150.
yeah, I'm not sure we do have that.
I think, council, I think it would be, it's not a necessity right now, right?
It's not, but I thought we had money from that project left over.
Not that amount. Not up to, not the 67,000. We have what? Maybe 40?
40, I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's 27,000.
Yeah. With the VFD and then the potential repair on Stardust Road, I'm not sure we can eke out another, that much more. Let me look at the funds. Let me give you guys a better picture before we start any extra, but that's that much money.
And by next month, we'll know obviously how much this repair is gonna cost for Stardust Road.
Should be done.
I'll get the amount where I can't have that on my desk, but I think it's like 40,000 is what was left in there, really.
Okay.
And sorry for throwing all those in, but I thought they should probably be talked about altogether. The next issue is the signage grant. We're finally getting to the point where we're going to receive the bids, and we're expecting those tomorrow. This is the regulatory signage throughout town, so stop signs, speed limit signs, railroad signs, crossing signs, anything that's a regulatory sign. We applied for this, it was probably almost 2 years ago, and it's finally coming to fruition. But we're gonna get those bids tomorrow. We will take those, and apparently you don't have to accept them or you approve them. We'll send them to the engineer and NDOT, and they will approve it that way, so. We're close to starting on that project. It's a pretty small project in the grand scheme of things, so. But just wanted to update you there. Next item is, oh, sorry.
I know it's not our part of that bid. We need the state to change Market Street sign.
Good thing, February the 20th, I believe it is, we're having a meeting with NDOT about that interchange. And just so you know, this is a pre-construction meeting that they're having. So Richard, Brad, and I are gonna be going, and I think it's February 20th, it's Friday. We'll be at NDOT Cloverdale with the contractor that's gonna be redoing that entire intersection.
Mhm.
So it's not just the lighting, but it's gonna be curbs, sidewalks, anything in that area is gonna be completely redone.
And then at that time, obviously.
Yeah, and I notified NDOT at that, excuse me, but that is Kylie Way. You know, he sat in my office and he actually wrote it down, it's Kylie Way, so provided they follow through, because their documents had it as Market Street. But
Okay.
they were notified, I will follow up with them on the 20th about that, because we have to meet with them for pre-construction.
Thank you.
I don't know what the time frame is for that. I know that originally they were trying to do that after school and before school, so to make a summer project,
Mhm.
so that they don't interfere with it. But as an individual, we have no control over it,
Right.
but that was recommended to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you talking about the intersection right there at 231?
Yes,
Is that gonna be, they're gonna be closing streets off right there?
I'm sure they will.
Okay, can
Yeah, I'm sure they'll.
you get me an invite to that meeting so I can,
You wanna
You
go,
said it's on a
you wanna
Friday.
go for me?
if it's on a Friday, I just need to make sure we get our trucks out, so.
Yeah. No, I'm sure, they're required to, I'm surprised you're not on the list, honestly.
I haven't seen anything.
'Cause there's a
I usually
big
get it
long-
when they go on the interstate, I usually get the invite.
Okay. Yeah, there's a big long list where they invite everybody and their brother. I'm surprised you're not on there, but I can make sure that you get put on there.
Is the name change, the Kylie Way's gonna go from Grant, or from the phone company, how far?
It's
Going all
already
the way
done.
from- Is it going all the way across from the school, all the way to the phone company?
Mhm.
So the fire department will be Kylie Way now, not West Market.
Should already be.
Okay. Well, I've heard both things, so I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, we passed that back early in '25, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? Yeah.
All of the signage that the town is responsible for has changed already. We're not responsible for the signage on 231.
That's
We can't
what I
do
see,
it. So
okay.
that's why it still says Market.
Okay.
But it is, if you look on GIS and other things, it's listed as highway, so. The next item is the CCMG bid opening. As you know, we were awarded a CCMG grant to do several streets, resurfacing of several streets through town. We do have the bids here. And do you want to open them, or do you want me to do this, or? What I will do is I will read these, the name of the company, and I'll read the amount out loud, so Kelly can record this. Eric Smith could not be here tonight, but what we would do is provide these to HWC. They'll review them to make sure everything's in compliance and everything looks correct. And they will send us a recommendation that we can accept one at the next council meeting. Just because it's the highest or the lowest bid, doesn't mean that's who we have to accept or want to accept, but they'll review it and they'll have a recommendation for us. So, I will open these. It looks like the first bidder is Howard Asphalt LLC. Their bid amount, I just make sure they're not multiple here. Should be the same.
Now, Now the suspense is real.
Yeah, just wanna make sure we're all,
We have Jason
Showing
and
the
the attorney
same.
going over. This is scary.
it's not added up completely. The total is right here for the sum, so. Again, Howard Companies, $114,217.56. So $114,217.56. And again, they'll review the bond and all the stuff that's required, that's what they do. Grady Brothers, Inc., from Indianapolis. And all of these were received in timely fashion too. This is Grady Brothers, Inc. of Indianapolis. And a sum of $135,110 even. $135,110 even.
It's scary.
He read it out.
I give you an eye and you don't even know.
Well, this was the easy one here. I can open those.
Do something productive, please.
This next one is Reith Riley Construction Company, Inc. of Indianapolis. For a total of $170,421.64. So $170,421.64.
You must have started with all the really hard ones though.
Yes, I did. Wanna bring them up? Thank you. The next bidder is Baumgartner and Company LLC of Fishers in the amount of $112,120.55. So $112,120.55. Next is Milestone Contractors, Terre Haute. Their bid was in the amount of $135,536.78. So $135,536.78. And the final bid is E&B, E as in Ernie and B as in boy, Paving LLC out of Fishers, Indiana. In a total bid amount of $128,780.88. $128,780.88. And that was E&B Paving. Something I can go over real quick, and just so the public can know too, if you'd like. The streets that we're looking at, resurfacing are Frost Way, from Lazy River to the cul-de-sac, Blue Side Way from Lazy River to the cul-de-sac, Washboard Place, which used to be Blue Side Place, all the way to the cul-de-sac, Nancy Street, from Anna Street to the dead end, Boone Street from Hurst Street to the dead end, Long Street from Grant Street to the dead end, Columbus Street from Main Street to Grant Street, and Oriole Court, which used to be Blue Side Court, from Blue Side Way to the cul-de-sac. So, just for your information, on those streets. I can get that to the Facebook group. I didn't want to contact that. These will be delivered. I'm going to give them to Mr. Shagley. He's going to stop by and just give them to HWC tomorrow. Thank you.
And the item that we added to the agenda, the VFD, that's what we've already voted on, so you don't want anything else on that, right? Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Kel?
You've got all your monthly reports in your packet, and like I said, I hope to have some more detailed information to you in the next month or two.
Thank you. Before we continue, the alley abandonment document, procedure document, should that be an ordinance? I'm asking because obviously I don't know.
Well, the procedures, we have to approve the fee.
The actual abandonment becomes the ordinance, doesn't it?
Yeah. You're just approving the procedures on how you're gonna handle the alley vacates. Each vacate will have a petition where they ask you, and then the ordinance that vacates it.
So it would be an individual ordinance per that alley?
Per alley, yes. Or, I mean, if you could have, if you've got alley, in a situation where it's multiple, but, yeah, per petitioner.
Okay. I just wanted to get clarification on that.
You would just want to approve the procedures for the vacation of the alley and roadways.
Yeah, okay. This will bring us to annexation.
Mr. Shagley asked me today, or maybe yesterday, I don't know, here in the last couple days, about getting the legal descriptions. I do have those here. We're going to get those to him. And this is just the annexation of the few parcels scattered around town. We've only been working on this for about a year now, so it's nothing of any severe consequence. We've just kind of been pushing it off, but we're going to get that done.
We've got the documents ready. The list of addresses I had because of the spreadsheet was cut, a lot of it was cut off, so I just wanted clarification before we went down the path. So he's got that. So we're gonna start that in February. And the benefit of that is you have to have, after you introduce the petitions for the voluntary vacation, you have 30 days to have another hearing. Or you have to have it within 30 days, and because of the shortness of February, that allows us to have the meeting in March without having a special call. So we should be able to do these annexations for these parcels without having a special call. Unless you want to have a bunch of extra meetings, you can let me know later. So, but I can,
If not needed, right?
yeah.
Okay, then council, this will bring us to the alley abandonment that we just kind of spoke about. If there are no questions, council looking for a motion and approval on the procedures as is.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
This will bring us to the town board appointments that have been lingering out there for a while. The first item is the redevelopment commission opening that we have. This is a president appointment. Council, Mr. John Bailey has, stepped up to the plate for this one. Even with the president appoint, I would still like your blessing, so I'm looking for a motion approval to approve John Bailey to that position.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And this will bring us to the Putnam County Visitors Bureau appointment as well. This is a council appoint. Ms. Heather Klingen has offered to fill that void. So if there are no questions, I am looking for a motion and a second and ultimate approval to appoint her.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Kelly, I sent you, okay, thank you. And this will bring us to the new business, item A under new business, which is a fire territory. And at this time, I'll ask trustee Dale Monnet to step up to the podium, please.
I think all you guys got these in your, on your iPad. She said I got hard copies there if anybody wanted one. I've got, we'll just go through these, and I've got Susan Cowan from Baker Tilly's here, and Tiffany Deere from Dare County. And Kurt was here, but they had to run, you heard him go, for the fire department. This, any questions you have, that's why I had them come, and they was gracious enough to come and help us, in case anybody had any questions. The first one is the cost, or the tax levies with Cloverdale, Town of Cloverdale, and Cloverdale Township, and Taylor Township. Let's see if we need to. The second one is that 140,000. I think it's they missed a zero on there because it adds up to more than that. We noticed that the other day, and I thought I fixed it on one. On how that budget would fall out, what each category would be in. The third one is, what we're wanting to do is put 3 firefighters on 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, every day, for all year. It's like 6 to 6, and if you look on back here, we've got a list of when they have the most runs. They've got it like 24 hours, so that 6 to 6 might be adjusted 5 to 5, 7 to 7, different examples. So that costs us $327,000. Then each for up to 10 people, the people that come after that, we pay them $25 a run. So if we had 10 people, which you never get 10 people and 1,000 runs, that's $250,000. And then the operating is $140,000. Let me find that other one. If you go past that one, you've got, I'm not sure what that one is going to explain. Here's the runs. It shows the hours of times of the day. I know we had some concerns about, we're just trying to, you know, as you know, we bought the lot beside Casey's a couple of years ago, and the plan is to put a fire station there, hopefully in a couple of years. We don't know if that's going to happen. We need to get this done. To try to get the territory together and get people paid so we can keep people on the fire department, keep it growing, so we can have more people there. And I think having people staffing it will help a lot. Questions for either one of these? Well, I'm just asking for your approval. There, she's got all the paperwork ready. We just got to get your approval. And I know the last one is our timeline for public meetings. I know it's in the time crunch, but I didn't take over till March or May and getting the budget and everything done. So we've been working at it a lot. So trying to get it all together. So we just need to make sure the town is on board with this. And
Council, do you have any questions for Dale before I ask somebody else to come up to the podium? full-time employees is what you're proposing.
Yeah, 12, three guys, 12 hours a day, every day.
It was brought up, in this proposal, who's responsible for their insurance, retirements, et cetera, as full-time employees?
They would be full-time employees,
They're not.
no. So that other proposal we had, the first one had that paid, insurance, retirement, everything, but it was like 1.3 million, so we moved to this one. This wouldn't be the same three people the whole time. They will rotate in and out to keep them in, what, 32 hours? 29?
Probably was for
Yeah.
32.
32, 29.
And what are gonna be the minimum requirements for the people to staff that station during those hours? Are they gonna be EMT certified, they gotta be Fire One certified?
Whatever they are now, yeah. It's,
So,
I don't think, do we have EMT? We don't have EMT firemen.
They had that certificate.
Okay, yeah. They will be both apparently. Kurt had to leave, he could have answered all that for you.
Brandon, I have some financial questions when
Yeah.
you're ready.
Yeah,
You can go, Cal.
Tiffany will be running all the financials. It'll all go through the trustee's office, but she will be doing all the financials and
And who is Tiffany with?
Tiffany, Deer County Recast.
Just for the record, that's why I
Yes,
wanted
okay.
you to say that.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to be clear that if we form this territory, any citizen of the town of Cloverdale, their property taxes are gonna go up about 12.5% is what the paperwork states, is that correct?
Yes, come here.
Please, yeah. And then if you could just state your name and who you're with for the record as well.
Good evening, I'm Susan Cowan, I'm a senior manager with Baker Tilly from Indianapolis. So yes, based upon current numbers, which we are waiting from the DLGF because they're not done with tax rates for 2026, but based upon information from 2025 and what we know about the budget that we have here for the town of Cloverdale, if you're in the Warren Township portion, it's about a 10.6% increase. And if you're in the non-Warren Township portion, it's about a 12.5% increase.
And for the record, Warren Township
This is
has
the one
elected
we're looking at.
not,
It's the one that we're looking at right now, so yeah, it would be those two portions.
for the record, Warren Township has elected not to participate in this, at least, Dale, correct me if I'm wrong, a year?
Yes, they're still contracted this year, and then next year they have, I've got a verbal from her to give us 50,000 plus 60 to 70 per truck. So about 110, 120. This year, then they'll probably come in, but I can't say that for sure. I believe she will.
You want to continue?
Answer your question, does anyone else have financial
think she
questions?
has
I have more,
Sure, sorry, okay. So general fund and lit, with SB 1, the new Senate bill, our circuit breaker has increased, and we're not quite sure how much,
Mhm.
but we're going to lose revenue
Mhm.
from what we're used to having. If this fire territory was created, it's my understanding this would further increase the circuit breaker, and we would incur a bigger loss of revenue.
Yes, that is unfortunate. Anytime a unit adds levy, whether just annual levy increases, levy appeals, anytime levy is added across the county, it will have at least an impact on the immediately overlapping units, which obviously the town of Cloverdale is one. Part of the analysis that we do are further estimates of that circuit breaker impact. That is not done because we have not had a commitment to have meetings and go further. We generally don't finish the report until we know that there's dates in place and we can be prepared for that. We had initial, and I'm sorry because I was called last minute, I didn't bring when I was here in October, I brought a report at that time. I don't have that with me this evening about what potential circuit breaker loss would be. And yes, I know that Senate Enrolled Act 1 is very impactful to units everywhere across the state. And then unfortunately, the DLGF information is not 100% reliable. Nobody is really 100% reliable right now. Everyone's scrambling to do the best they can for those analysis but unfortunately, it's going to be definitely impactful, yes.
Okay. So I just want council to know with that, I mean, we're already going to be taking some type of a hit. This would increase the hit even more. It would come from the general fund. In our general fund, 60 to 70% of that goes to fund our police department. So just keep that in mind. If we take too deep of a cut, it's going to affect our police. Okay, then I had a question about some other revenue. Auto excise, see that and fit, does that take away from what we're currently
No,
getting?
well, it affects the whole county. The amount that they receive is about $34,000. So that $34,000 by the time, it's allocated based upon total proportion of levy. So I'm guessing the larger hit will be to Putnam County and to Greencastle. I don't know where you are in the rank order of levy there. So your hit could be $3,000, it could be $5,000. I'm not exactly sure where that allocation would lie.
So we'll get less in that also. And
Yes.
those three also go to the general fund, that's revenue that contributes to our general fund. TIF, I believe we have a loss of TIF money, and that would be pretty substantial.
Well, prior to 2024, TIF revenue did not come directly to the fire territory. It went directly to fire districts, but it did not come to fire territory. Currently, the fire portion of the rate in the TIF area, that revenue stays with the TIF. Under current legislation, that money would now come to the territory. And I'm sorry, I don't know what those proportions are either. We'd have to look at what the assessed value is of the TIF with the rate and how much that change would be. I could pull that together. But, so yes, there would be a decrease in the TIF revenue to some amount.
And does that go into the general as well?
That's our redevelopment.
The
That's all of our
redevelopment,
money
yep,
that's
yep.
focused to bring in new potential business and development to the town. Okay. And then this would, if we formed a territory, it would create a separate taxing unit.
No, it's a sub-unit.
A
A
separate-
taxing district is a fully separate unit that can take out its own debt, that has its own advisory board, that goes through the county for approval for everything. The territory would be a sub-department or sub-unit of the, what we call the provider unit. Right now, the township would be accepting the role of provider unit. If it were to change and it was the town, it would be a sub-unit or a sub-department of the town. So the territory cannot take out debt in its own name. The levy comes to the provider unit, and whoever the financial officer is for the provider unit is the one responsible for receiving the levies, receiving the CVET taxes, making the payments then, and divvying out the money on behalf of the territory.
Okay, so if this were to go forward and the township was a provider unit, but the territory needed equipment or a new building, like you said, then the township would take out debt and they could put a levy and increase a new tax levy to pay for that debt?
Not on the whole territory. The township cannot put debt in place that levies property tax property that's not theirs. So if it comes to the township doing a debt issuance for a building in the future, it would be on, I guess in this case, because they overlap, yes, it would end up being on the citizens of the town as well. But it would not be your debt responsibility. The debt would lie with the township.
Okay, but all of our property taxes would increase even more than
With-
the original
with that
value of
rate.
the territory?
Yeah, if it came to that, yes.
Okay.
Do you have an analysis of projected loss for the town?
As I mentioned, we have not completed
Okay.
the full loss because we had estimates of loss, I believe in an original report, but I don't have them updated as of right now until we were, just due to the fact of putting it together and the costs associated with putting it together. If we don't know that all units are on board with moving ahead, generally don't complete that.
Okay.
So, I mean, we would, at this point, we pretty much are using estimates from the DLGF for this year and then some percentage of increase on top of those. So I don't know, do you have any idea what your loss was projected by the DLGF for 26 already, percentage-wise?
I don't remember off the top of my
Okay.
head. No, I know the first year it was a lot. all these parts are moving. I'm
Mhm.
not even sure. Yeah, I guess not sure.
Yeah, I know, it's been awful for a lot of municipalities, and I definitely understand the position.
What was the theory on going territory versus district?
I'm not sure what the final decision was, I can tell you why most units choose territory rather than district. Territory, you maintain a local control. You have a territory board that's put together from members of the town council, members of the township board. Usually there's a fire department member, someone else from the community, so each participating unit has that control. That fire board is a recommending unit then to the provider unit. The provider unit ultimately approves the budget each year and goes through the budget process. Currently, there's a 40-cent cap on territories. Districts are approved by the county commissioners. Budgets are approved by the county commissioners. There is another fire district board, but everything they approve and do has to be approved by the county commissioners.
Commissioners, not council.
Well, I take that back. Commissioners approve them forming, council approves everything financial. So council has to approve a budget. Council has to approve any additional appropriation, any debt. That'll go through the county council.
Have you been contacted by anybody concerning an actual district for the county?
I have not, no. It's not to say that they haven't contacted another financial advisor,
Correct.
but to the best of my knowledge, and I usually know most of them that come through, we have not heard anything about a district in Putnam County.
Okay.
So usually it's just that fine line of local control that's the decision that, it depends on how well you get along with the county council.
Yeah.
If you get along great with the county council, and maybe it's not a problem. If you don't, then you want to stay with the local control of the territory.
We'll probably discuss that Thursday.
Okay.
We can discuss it right now.
No, I have a meeting.
County council president is here.
No, I have a meeting with her on Thursday on the district. Otter Creek.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that's who, I didn't see your nameplate. I'm sorry, Mr. Shagley, I didn't see your nameplate. There was a glare on it at first.
Kelly, do you have any more questions?
I think that's it. So the territory, the fire rate that's being proposed is .2749, is that?
That's the total rate currently, yes. And that's, again, we do have, we know what your 26 certified assessed values were, so it is based on your 26 certified assessed values. If in the future, as those assessed values go up, it's it's possible that rate could decrease depending on how much it increases against the increase in levy each year, because it would be held in future years to the rate on the annual max levy growth quotient.
Just for comparison, our rate for this year is .5055 for this one. I think that was. Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Sure.
If they were to take out debt, I believe a debt levy would be outside of the circuit breaker. Is that right?
That levy is outside of the circuit breaker, so the circuit breaker impact would end up on the operating, and if they have township assistance, on the township funds. It would not be on the town.
Okay, so what that means is like, when all the property tax that's brought in, it goes to the debt portions first, and then what's left gets divvied up between the other tax
Mhm.
units?
I'm trying to think how to explain this. So like for the actual unit that takes out the debt, they bear most of the brunt in their general fund, because on the debt right now, you're only gonna have over 65 circuit breaker that comes off that debt, so it's a much smaller portion. So, but again, because you're increasing levy across the county, yes, there is going to be an impact to the other units
Okay.
at some point, yes.
I have a question for Dale. Knowing that obviously you just reassumed this role back in the spring, late spring, early summer, is there a reason to push this through for this year?
Well, we had thought about, because I was in 15, I was the trustee. Me and Pat kind of running against each other, and he won back and forth, and then he stepped out. So it's something they've been wanting to do, and I think when Pat stepped back in, he was going to do it, and I think his mom died, got sick, and she passed, so he just dropped it. So when I assumed it, we picked it up and went with it. I get all the financials, I get that, I understand that.
So I can't make a motion because of my position on town council. I'm gonna voice my opinion. There's a lot of holes or uncertainties, not known information, based upon what Baker Tilly just said on the questions the town's clerk treasurer just asked. Council, it's my opinion that we do not make any decisions on this tonight until we can work with Dale Monnet and Baker Tilly to get answers to those questions. 12.5% is obviously what the recommendation is. And you guys can see what their operating budget is and what they're asking for. For the record, I understand we need a fire department. I also understand how expensive everything is in today's society and the world. As the public and all of us up here face that on a daily, right?
Yeah.
I understand all of that. We also have to be mindful of, we do operate under a budget for the town. Majority of it does already go to the police department, as Kelly just noted, or said. Council, that's my opinion. Please feel free to chime in. I'll open it up for discussion. That is my stance on this matter.
We're just trying, go ahead.
The fire department crew was here. He was going to explain some of this. The fire department people, the firemen that we have now,
Yeah,
a lot of them have been in there for 30-plus years,
yeah.
and their age. And they are worried about plus the age, plus where they work. Used to, they could go to work, and if they had a call, the employers would say, run with it. Nowadays, it's, you punch a clock, you're there. And it's a matter of keeping someone in the station or available to get the runs, because there's not enough younger people, seems like, that's interested, too many that's interested in the fire department, and they're coming on. And I know they've been trying to get people to recruit. They held some meetings, I think, in the last couple of weeks. But it's not a matter of wanting to, I don't know how to say it.
What it does is, those members that have been on for 30 years
Yeah.
probably work nearby. Younger people these days are, people are working further and further away.
Well, sure.
And it's harder, even if they boss it, yeah, go, they're 45 minutes away.
So that was the reason they wanted to go to some part-time.
Yeah,
And
then-
they think that the fire territory was
Right.
much better for that than
Yeah.
a fire district.
Well,
Because the district, you have to report to the county.
Right.
Now let's be real, we're sitting in Cloverdale, and how much interest does Greencastle have for Cloverdale for the South Park? It doesn't make any difference whether it's fire department, whether it's the roads, whether it's what.
But the other benefit
Yeah. I'm listening.
is with the paid people, having someone at that station, it speeds up response.
It does.
That's the whole thing.
That's the main thing, is because instead of someone having to go to, someone's there to go out and people can just meet at.
Even if they just have two people there.
And I've gone through this and pitched out with this for a couple townships I represent. And, generally, the townships I represent are heavy farmers. And they don't like increases in taxes. I've been fortunate, unfortunate in the townships I represent where they, heart attacks, a couple extra minutes makes all the difference in the world. And that paid person that's at the station, that's the true benefit, is the response time. Plus, it is harder to recruit volunteers. Not only do people not live in the area, but they also, as we all know, kids' activities
Yeah,
take it over the
it's a
world,
problem.
because they gotta play something all year long. So it is tough to recruit, and be able to pay to keep them is, yeah.
But we all.
But I also think it's very important that the town knows the ramifications of this decision, financially.
That's right, but we also, we need a fire department.
Absolutely.
And we need a viable fire department, one that's, we know that we can count on.
Well, we have that currently,
Yeah.
under the current contract.
Yeah.
Susan,
Well,
how
yeah,
would
we
it,
do.
how
I
would
know.
it work? There's a couple bills pending right now with the state, one getting rid of trustees and townships.
Right.
So, let's say they do a territory, they decide we need a new firehouse, and they do a bond, and then the state gets rid of trustees. Where does that,
Right now,
Goes to the county.
from what we know about House Bill 1315, there are certain exclusions. One of those exclusions being if the township operates the only fire department for the community. So if the township fire department here covers the town of Cloverdale and the rest of the township, that would be an exclusion in this case. That's not to say in 2 years, because last year they introduced a bill that did away with all territories, all districts, and put everything with the county at the end of 2027. All the counties went, whoa, we can't do that, we're not prepared for that. So there's still a case where you have to meet certain criteria to be excluded from this potential forced, combination. So the problem could potentially come from, though, if you have a territory between Cloverdale Township, and Taylor Township. Taylor Township doesn't meet the qualification because they're paying, they're part of the territory, they don't have their own fire department, then they go away. Then you've got some sort of a reorganizational nightmare that the legislation doesn't look at, that it doesn't consider currently. So I know that there was an attorney there today at the State House on a piece of legislation that he's written for the ITA to amend that process to address some of those things. If a township goes away, what happens to fire protection? What happens to participation in a district or in a territory? I mean, in a district, it's gonna stay with the district and it would continue to collect. It's a slightly different situation with a territory. But yeah, I mean, the state legislature keeps popping up with ways to combine. They think there's two paths in 1315. One path could take out about 650 of the current 1,000 townships. The other path would take out about 300 of the current 1,000. So they understand that there's a great difference between townships in the state. Some of them are very large, very active, and handle a lot of responsibility. Others bring in small amounts of levy, pay a little bit of township assistance, do some cemetery, and that's it. Maybe they already have a district that's covering their fire. So currently, since things change so rapidly at the State House, we are not telling units to postpone if they're pursuing a territory, because there are a number of them in pursuit right now, as well as some districts, until if we hit the point that we know more, and it's gonna make it impossible. But if you get to the place that you can do it, I think putting it in place protects, at least if the township is the provider of fire service and the provider unit for the territory, that helps maintain the structure.
Yeah, like I said, the response time, we got a lot of agriculture. You got a farmer get stuck in a combine or something, if I've got 3 guys sitting there, they're leaving out of there real quick, as opposed to airport getting there in 15 minutes. Heart attacks, like you said, falls, everything, that's a very important. The numbers are important, I realize it, but you got the human part of it. I don't want my taxes to go up, but I want that response time. I want them people there so they can be right on
But we're only staffing 12 hours a day.
it. Yes.
The other 12, we're not gonna be staffed.
I'm sorry?
So the other 12, we're not gonna have that quick response.
Well, that's what that one sheet in there is just showing where most of the runs are. It kind of, for some reason, it just seems to be certain times of the day it's really, really bad. Other times, no. Like overnight, your farmers are home, most people home, but that won't be there. If we could afford to do it 24 hours, we'd do it 24 hours. In fact, I think the first proposal was a 24-hour thing, and it was just too expensive, so we dropped that one and went to this one. In time, maybe we can go to that. So,
I guess my 2 cents is I am for it, but I darn sure wanna know what the loss to the town is before I would ever make a motion on it.
I agree, I think we need more specific, concrete numbers to consider, because right now, there's so much gray. For us to make a decision on a budget of that type of an expense with the unknowns, I think we need to do some more research done.
the time crunch was there because of when I took over, we had to do the budget and everything, and that's why she had sent some out. What's our,
Well,
And that coincides with the question I asked on why we're trying to get this pushed through now. I understand that there's a time crunch, but that burden shouldn't fall on us.
no.
It's not on you. It was just the way that the state operates also.
So
And so
that,
if we cancel this now,
Mhm.
probably it will be next
it
year.
would have to be next, it would be next year.
It'll have to be
Yeah.
next year. But I think everybody had, I mean, this is not your first go-around with it. I mean, I think you've been told that this was gonna happen.
yes, that is correct. Well, no, I've been told that they are wanting to move in this direction, yes.
Right,
There's never been any data given
yeah,
as far as
well,
we've not had a single number given to us.
we haven't had very much.
We
I mean,
got these, I can give these to you about a week ago so you can see what we had. We've been meeting with her, and I think we all had
But we've already approved budgets and everything for.
now this will start in 27.
Right.
Well, what's the deadline? In the March?
You have to have, the public hearings and the adoption have to be completed by March 31st for it to take effect the following year.
So we still have,
We've got 4 meetings set up.
You have to get
They're
3
2 weeks
public
apart.
hearings in and an adoption. There has to be 30 days between public hearing 1 and adoption. There has to be 10 days between the 3rd public hearing and adoption. The problem is, we find that when you hit that last week of March, you have people out of town for spring break, and you have to have quorums for all bodies involved.
yeah.
So that's the problem. And speaking to numbers, anything we give you right now is 100% estimate. There is no hard cold fact yet on what the circuit breaker loss is gonna be. We have estimates from LSA, we have estimates from DLGF, we have estimates that we're building on our internal. So if we complete the report and we give you that information, you gotta understand, that's not, there's no guarantee on it. So, and
Let's just be honest, that's gonna be on the low end. I mean,
we try to be
more than
super, we try to be
potentially
super
gonna be high.
conservative and make it high.
Yeah.
I mean, if we think that it looks like it's gonna be a $60,000 loss, we'll plug in 75. Because we don't wanna underestimate it. We will not try to make it look unduly good just so it gets passed. We wanna be totally honest with what we think it's going to be. So it would be, if anything, overly conservative.
Well, I guess my opinion is an estimate's better than nothing at all at this point.
And this is based on the $250,000 home. We've got some that's more, we've got some less. And I know,
I mean,
What is
the
it for
percentage,
$100 assessed value?
the percentage applies regardless.
Yeah.
Unless the home is at circuit breaker. If the home is at circuit breaker cap, there's no additional increase in their tax bill.
there's talk about territory, what was the other one?
District.
Districts. If you take and take everything to a district, everything goes to the county.
I want to just correct,
Go ahead.
day-to-day operations stay with the fire district board. Annual budget approval goes to the county commissioners and county council. County commissioners approve formation in the first place. It depends, can your county council be more involved? We understand that some get more involved because of just how the local way things operate. But your day-to-day, once they approve your budget, would still go through a district.
Yeah.
And the result, as far as property tax increase, is going to be the same, whether it's a district or a territory. There's not a lesser impact on one from the other. It's still gonna be an additional levy. The district is its own separate taxing unit. That's the main difference. The district is its own separate taxing unit. The territory is not. So the district can take out its own debt. The district, you know, can put its name on a truck. The district can put its name on a building. A territory can't do that. It has to be the participating or provider unit. So it's a legal difference, but the end result, as far as it comes to tax increases, would be the same. Because the TIF already is applied in districts. That's been in place for years. So the districts already get the same TIF that territories now do too.
Well, they decided sometime that every town council in this county didn't need to be, and they took everything to the county. We had a big county council and no town councils. You lose that anonymity, you lose that, the people right here, they know, I know all of you, people know you, so they can go to and talk to you. They know these fire guys, they know it, and it's that small town, not the vibe, but just that small town knowing people that you can, that are there. And it's not, bigger it gets, the less, I guess the more you lose.
Well, I agree with that full-heartedly. And like I said, I'm saying I am for this, but I want to know the numbers.
What's the deadline on when they have to make a decision? Can they wait till the February meeting?
When is your February council meeting?
Second Tuesday?
I've got my,
Second Tuesday of the month. No calendars?
The February the 10th.
Okay. Do you know,
first meeting's the 9th.
yeah, that's what we've got scheduled as the 9th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we go down to say we want to adopt on March 31st, drop dead, we have to have enough people here, and all, Taylor, you, township, everybody, to adopt on March 31st, and that doesn't leave any room for error.
So Taylor hasn't voted on this, right? Nobody else has.
Oh, no, you can't vote till after the public hearings. I mean, you can vote to proceed with the
That's
public
what I'm
hearing.
asking.
Taylor's in.
Taylor is, they have voted to proceed in this direction.
They're in, yes.
So if you have to go to March 31st, which I believe that is a Tuesday this year,
Yes.
30 days prior to that would be the last possible date you could have your first hearing. So that would be February the 23rd, 6th, 2nd, let me think. It's 24 days back from 6th, 24th, 22nd, because there's only 28 days in February.
That's the first meeting.
So if you were to start on that February 22nd, you would have to have 3 in pretty quick succession to get them done before March 31st. You have to have 10 days. So there has to be a 10-day gap between the third one and the adoption. So by March 21st, you would have to have the third hearing. Some places do 2 on one day, but that doesn't negate the need for 30 days between first meeting and adoption meeting, and 10 days between third meeting and adoption meeting. So I mean, can it still be done? Yes, it can be done, but it depends on who's available within that time frame. So if half of the council is going to be out of town on spring break, March 31st, that's not going to work. I don't know when school breaks start here, or who goes to Florida when, or those are the things that we generally run into when it comes to planning meetings. So I tried to start them on February 9th, have adoption by March 16th, to sort of avoid the last 2 weeks of the month.
So in theory, they could vote to move forward tonight and just not adopt it.
So in theory, we could vote to, they say they want to see these estimates at their February meeting. We could finish up the report, get them the estimates by the February meeting. If they decide yes, we definitely immediately would have to have everything ready to go, because there's a 10-day notice requirement on public hearings, so the notice would have to get in the newspaper before February 22nd. By at least the 12th, the notice would have to be published. So we would probably actually have to have it to the paper before your meeting on the 10th and say, pull it or
You can always cancel a
run it and
meeting.
ignore it. You can always cancel meetings.
Yes.
Exactly. You can cancel meetings.
See, we-
I would recommend you cancel meetings before you start meetings, then have them, and at the end, not vote to adopt.
Council? Greg, Scott, anybody? Does anybody want to make a motion tonight?
Motion, we hold off till the February meeting, so we've got time to.
So you are wanting to see the financials from Baker Tilly
Yes.
presented to council?
Where can I get to?
End of next week, beginning of the following week, probably.
I didn't hear the question.
Yes, when we could have the financials ready. Our internal circuit breaker analysis takes a little bit. I think it could be possibly the end of next week or the beginning of the following week, but you would have them by the 10th. We would just want to get them to you to look at before the meeting, obviously. You understand that.
I'm going to remove that Greg's motion. We're just gonna table this until our February meeting, knowing that you're gonna provide the documentation, you or Dale to Kelly, and then she'll distribute it to council members. And then this will be on the February agenda.
It's just a lot of information to take in on short notice.
You could just make the motion proceed.
No.
I'm just, and you could, there's multiple times down the path that you could kill it if you don't want to do
I think we're fine now,
it. Okay,
the way we have it laid out.
okay.
This works.
Okay, council, anything else for Dale? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Susan, thank you as well.
You're welcome. Yep, it's all.
All right, this will bring us to the farm ground rental bid opening. We did receive 2, so we'll open these real quick. Yeah, open that one, please. The first bid that was sent in
It'd be good if they put their name on.
yeah, they didn't put any, we have no idea who this bid is from for the record.
I think I do know, is it on the form? I can tell you who it was, it was Tony Hacker.
Of course, Jason was involved on this.
That'll explain it.
He was here today, I would have assumed you put it on there. I did write that, it is Tony Hacker, $250 a year.
So you want to state for the record who it is and go ahead and say what it is?
Sure. Tony Hacker. This is on leasing 11.9 acres of hay ground around the well field. That's estimated 11.9 for a period of 5 years. With this, if you recall, we discussed there would be no payment the first year because of the input cost, but it would be $250 a year after this. It would be 4 years of $250.
Did you get all that?
$250 per year.
Yes.
No payment after year 1.
Okay. Second bid is from Oakland Crossing Farms Partnership. They've got basically a 5-year, they're offering a 5-year lease agreement, which council was looking for, if you recall correctly.
11.9 acres.
$1,259.37 beginning and increases by 3% per year. So year 2026, total for the year is $1,259.37. They put in parentheses, rent waived for input cost. 2027, $1,297.16. 2028, $1,336.06. 2029, $1,376.14. And in 2030, $1,417.42. This will bring a total to $5,426.77, quote, excludes 2026 as stated per bid packet, end quote, lifetime of contract. That again is Oakland Crossing Farms Partnership out of Cloverdale, Indiana. That is the two bids, council, that we received for the farmland. Did that one include a 5-year? It just said per year, didn't it? No. Council, does somebody want to make a motion based off those two bids?
Yeah, I will make the motion to go with the first, as that is the more lucrative offer.
The first being, who'd you say?
Tony Hacker.
Tony Hacker? How much more are we, what do you, show me your figure. Because
If
obviously,
you take,
I didn't run it. It's right here.
the last year, which is the highest year, or they're 20, well, just do the 27 number.
That,
1297,
It's a 3% increase year over year.
no, I'm just saying, this is only $1,000 over the 5 years.
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, 1297,
That's like $5,000. over
That's
that same
1,000 for the
5 years.
4 years.
That's 250 for the 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was, no, I thought that was 250 an acre. Okay, that's completely my fault then. I will withdraw my
Oh,
motion.
no.
Is it, does he
Okay.
specify 250 an acre or?
It's just $250 a year.
Okay, then I will withdraw my motion
Yeah.
completely. I thought it was 250 an acre. I was gonna say.
Yeah, we get that kind of sign the line at
Yeah.
250 an acre.
Okay, you want to remove or strike your motion?
I will strike my motion. I thought it was 250 an acre. I will re-motion for the high bid then of Oakland Crossing Farms
I will
Partnership.
second that.
All in favor?
Normally when you do a
Aye.
bid, you do it by acres or anything.
JT, can you pass that back down here, please?
You ever seen a farm bid not by acre?
You did say Tony Hacker, right? I heard his name on the outside of the envelope. Okay, this will bring us to public comments. If anybody has anything. Nope. Okay, this meeting is adjourned.